Good morning. I believe it's Tuesday. I think the date is the 21st. I'm not really sure. Didn't check the calendar. I just got up. The sun is just starting to rise here. I'm in Grants, New Mexico. And I have a beautiful view of the penitentiary across the way. So I know I should feel right at home, right? Yeah, I know some people think I belong in prison. And I did spend 5 years in prison working there. And I always joke that I was such a bad boy that I exceeded my father's wildest dreams. He said if I didn't straighten up, I was going to go to jail, and I exceeded all of his expectations. I went to prison. 5 years in maximum security. And ended up having the damn reputation of being the most dangerous man in Central Unit of the old penitentiary in Florence, Arizona, which was the old Yuma Territorio prison that they moved to Florence, Arizona. It was not a nice place. And I did my best there. Okay. That's nice to get a message from her. She wants to see me when I'm coming through. That's good. You never know about women, why they have the moods and why they want to see you and why they don't. You got to be careful. We men have to put up good, strong boundaries and make it very clear. And if a woman's not willing to say, well, to listen to our no and our boundaries, then bye-bye. Look, I'm going to try to give you the best show I can today. And I think we're in for a wild one because, as you know, I make this step up as I go. And also, everything on this channel is suspect, as one of my most famous commentators has ruled about me a while back. And I have to agree, everything should be suspect, is suspect. Especially with what I'm going to tell you today, because we're going to go off the deep end. And you know me, I love to go off the deep end, and I usually hold something back. Hopefully today I'll be able to hold something back and have some proper boundaries and not be get too carried away. But I really do not think that Charlie Kirk is dead, or the man who claims he was Charlie Kirk is dead. And I think we're going to see him reappear, remade as a new character at a higher pay grade. You see, that's what they do. This is nothing but a bunch of deceptions. The whole purpose of it is to get you to violate the law of life that Yahweh's given you so you can have a long life. They don't want you to have a long life, and they want you to get condemned at the very end. They want you. I got to stop subscribing to this guy. He's always interfering in me. You know, I don't need these notices right now. But anyway, my other channel, Awakening Israel, please go over there. I think it's 6197. They put some numbers after it. I don't remember it, but do me a favor. Go over there and subscribe. And then leave a comment on one of the old videos. And you're going to find Bible readings, so those are timeless. So it's not going to be a waste of your time to go watch those videos, I don't believe. And I think you'll be able to hold me accountable. You'll be able to say, hey, you said such and such, buddy, didn't you? Yeah, I sure did. I changed my mind, okay. Or somebody changed my mind for me because they knew better than I did. All right. I love correction, except when it's really painful. And it's painful right now. I have no heat in this place. The Aqua Hot system was not rebuilt properly. They put in a rebuilt unit in here, and it's cross-wired. And not only that, but the installation was not done properly either. And now those people are behind the Aqua Hot factory in Frederick, Colorado, are doing their best not to see me and not to live up to their terms of the contract. They're already in violation of the contract. I paid them like $11,000 or so. And I don't have heat, and I don't have hot water either. And I'm sitting on a firebomb, if you will, because they've crossed the wires inside the Aqua Hot so that my chassis and my house batteries, I believe, are crossed there. And I've been having all kinds of electrical problems and breakdowns, and they give me a bunch of crap. They got my money. They don't want me coming back. And they've got a really weird reputation. This Heat My RV behind the Aqua Hot people. The former president of the Beaver Club evidently got suckered in and snookered by them, and they did a good job on her Aquahot system. She said they were the only ones, John and Hannah were the only ones that could ever get her Aquahot running. She had tried to get it working in other places in the country, and they couldn't get it going. But he heaped accolades upon them, so I'm thinking, well, this is the president of the Beaver Club. I'm a member of the Beaver Club. This is a beaver inside right now. You can see the good cabinet work, and it's nice and maple, nice light color. And so I decided to go with them. And then recently, before leaving the Phoenix area, I was trying to get parts, inner shell from my refrigerator, and it cracked. The guy had jacked up my rig such an angle that it cracked the compartment inside the door of my refrigerator. So I was there seeing if I could get another one, and heck, I needed 3. I was missing 3, and I figured I better get a 4th one because this is old plastic. This stuff is going to break. I need a spare. So I asked him, do you have a 4th? Oh yeah, he got me a 4th one, and I paid him cash. And I saw Wade there. Wade works on the rigs there, but they set things up like a lot of businesses do. At this place that I was at, they actually sell you more than what you need. And rather than, I found a fellow who worked on generators later, and he told me, these guys cheat everybody all the time. All you got to do is make a simple gasket, because the gasket was bad, and they don't have that part. Heck, you just get gasket material and cut it out and make it yourself. And it would have saved me about $1,500. But this is a place that is, it's RV renovators, and they're noted for renovating RVs, and they charge big, huge bills. I mean, they get you. They really do. And there's Wade. I'm telling him, well, Aquahot, why didn't you come see me? I said, well, I went to so-and-so. He says, oh, the guy up there, John Carillo, he's really good. And I didn't say anything to Wade, but to me, it was just a judgment call. I'm in the wrong place because he's praising a guy that's robbed me, basically. The guy that's got a really bad reputation across the whole country. And I put out, after they did my RV, I put out a video in support of them because I thought they had done a good job. No, they had not. And I haven't had full use of this thing for more than a year. And of course, I've got to get back up there. And John was trying to get me to go inside my own Aquahot unit and rewire it myself. And I'm like, no, man, I'm not comfortable with that. I paid you big bucks to do this. So I'm going to call the Aquahot people today on the technical line like I did before. And I'm going to ask them how much at risk I am. I tried to get my hot water going. I tried to get the heater going yesterday. And there's some lights that come on the unit down below, but it doesn't produce. It's not working. And I'm afraid, because the last technician that serviced the unit in January for me, because I wasn't able to get it to work, he found melting wires. He found a fire hazard. He says, you're about to catch fire. And he cut those wires out. We took photos of it. And the problem is that we didn't catch all the problems then. Why? Because I wasn't plugged into shore power. I was running my generator. And because of that, the system was working because things were cross-wired. And we didn't know it at the time when that technician was working on the Aquahot. He just saw the melting wires in front of him, the fire about to happen. So, and the woman there, Hannah, is dragging her feet. She's got my money. They don't want me coming back in. And, I'm at a point now where it's like, it's okay. If you don't want to do the work and another contract, fine, I'll go somewhere else. And then I will take you to court. And it's going to be for a heck of a lot more than $11,000. I can tell you that right now. And the problem they have is that they don't know that I'm the kind of guy that does what he says. I don't give a shit. I'm not afraid. Why should I be afraid? I've already died one time, maybe twice, I can't remember. Yeah, I died one time and got kicked back in my body. I was very disappointed. I was happy where I was. I was at peace. I was comfortable. But I'm not looking forward to that sort of an end right now at all. But I'm getting older. I've lived 50 years. No, not. Yeah, yeah, more than 50 years beyond when I first died the first time. It was pretty bad. The only reason I can half laugh about it is nervously is because it was so long ago. And I feel like I've made some progress. I'm a retard. I'm slow, but I made some progress. So do me a favor, go over to my other YouTube channel, Awakening Israel, and they put 4 numbers after it, and I can't remember what they are, but I will look those up and I'll put those in the notes. I have more subscribers on that channel. I haven't been active on it a year and a half, but it's all scripture, reading scriptural studies. So I think you're going to have a good time, and you'll also realize that maybe I've actually grown since some of the utterances I made back then. Lorraine, come on up here. Come on up. Oh yeah, make an appearance. Oh yeah. Oh, you got the cold nose. Oh yes. I opened the windows up, hoping to get a little bit of daylight in here to heat it up a bit. It's about 48 degrees outside. And I wish I had dug out my electric space heater last night. I didn't do that. I tried running the Aquahot, which was a miserable failure, and then it dawns on me, this thing is dangerous. I don't want it burning my coats down. I don't want it burning me and my dog up. So I'm going to get out the space heater, and I wish I'd have brought the other one too, because I need 2 to heat the rig, because it's like the front half and the back half. There are 2 heating zones in it anyway, but I can get by with 1 space heater. That's what I put in there. I didn't want to bring the other one. It was a quartz, and it's got a very fragile grill on the front end, and there's no way to really, I don't have the box for it. If I had the box for it, I could protect it and carry it around. Otherwise, it just gets dented easily. So, my buddy tells me he spent 3 or 4 hours in his church. Now, mind you, this church is in the Phoenix area, right? What's it got to do with Utah? What's it got to do with Charlie Kirk? Niente. Nothing. And they spent 3 or 4 hours in a memorial service for Charlie Kirk. Man, they're hyping this up. The smoking gun is Charlie Kirk's in on the damn thing, too. Him and his wife, she puts out that sign, that's the sign she gives, and other signs, and Charlie Kirk does all the Masonic signs all over the place. And my gut told me Charlie Kirk made a deal with the devil, and he ain't dead. He made a deal and he's getting paid off. And my thinking is, what's his payoff? Oh, he probably secured his space in the deep underground military bases for when they romp on us on the surface here. And they're looking forward to doing that, by the way. And I also want to draw your attention to the Forbidden Knowledge TV website. They try to get you to pay for it. It's really not worth it, to be honest with you. I don't have money to toss around, and a lot of the stuff that Alexandria Bruce puts up there is it's just not quite right. There's an article up there, and you need to read it. I can't even really describe it very well. I read it in bed a little bit ago, and basically it describes where they got the $3 trillion for the bailout in 2008. And you need to read that. It's just wild. Because one guy went in there, figured out his Treasury bond stuff, and he took a guess, and he took a chance, and his counselor told him, don't do this, man. You don't know how much money is in that fund. He wrote bonds. He printed bonds on his doggone inkjet printer. He printed $3 trillion worth of bonds and deposited them. And as a direct result of that, that's how they got the TARP money for the bailouts. And Henry Paulson was getting sued left and right because everyone wanted their piece of that $3 trillion, you know. And so it's a really weird, fraudulent system that we're stuck in. This is the Pharaoh. And I know you think the Pharaoh's got, it's a 4-sided pyramid. No. It's an 8-sided octagon. Now, if you look at Ian Fleming's work, the James Bond movies, he writes about octagon. octopus, the evil octopus. Now, they do that stuff to us in order to desensitize us, because we'll never go around thinking, well, it's octagon, when they really, or it's whatever it is, octopus. We won't go thinking, saying, oh, octopus, that's a figment of the imagination. That doesn't exist. Octagon really exists. And the proof for me was about 5 years ago, when a gentleman who was living in a tent and out of his car was driving in Europe, in Switzerland in particular. His English was quite good. And he showed us the pictures. He took pictures. He took videos of the structures up there. He showed us their symbols that they have in their land in Switzerland. It's not a neutral country. And their symbol is the octagon. And their brains are different than our brains. Their skulls are different than our skulls. It's a completely different species. They're descendants of the pharaohs. You want to know what the pharaohs look like? Go look up the Paracas skulls. Start there. Then go look at the Mexican star child. Very important, because that star child is only 500 years old, the skull on that child. But what they determined from it was that it had a human mother, but its DNA was alien. Yeah, folks, the aliens been doing this stuff to us and playing with us for a long time. Interracial, miscegenation. Yahweh says kind after kind. He loves it the way he made it. So that's how they got the $3 trillion for the TARP bailout. And they got a confession as to what was going to happen if the bailout didn't happen. They were ready to bankrupt the whole world, to start our soup lines going and our gulags going and reduce it to a Soviet-style system. You know, that stuff where they claimed they were concentration camps? Well, I prefer to call them what they really were, which is work camps. They wanted to do that to us. And they're going to do that to us if we let them get away with it. Lindsey Williams is the name of the pastor's name. He's cited in the Forbidden Knowledge article. And Lindsey Williams is the guy I heard on talk radio in my hometown, Anchorage, and, you know, I think it's AM 700. And he told us he was in the North Slope. He was in the North Slope when they discovered the biggest oil well in the world. And the federal government made him seal it right back up. And it remains sealed to this day. I wrote Trump a letter. I sent it a couple, 3 weeks ago. I heard from my housemate that they'd rejected one of my letters, stapled it back, and returned it to me. I don't know what's going on with those people. I've tried to figure out a way to get in there, but I don't have one. But my letter to Mr. Trump was very simple. All you do is you re-drill the one well on Gull Island that Lindsey Williams told us about, and you build the pipeline out to Gull Island. And you don't have to drill it in Alaska again. You don't have to drill another well in Alaska because it's a waste. Because that well has more oil, more crude oil in it than the pipeline can carry. It's got enough crude oil in it to last for 1,500 years. The pipeline at full capacity for 1,500 years, not just at 1/3 capacity like we've been running the last couple of decades. And of course, that oil would go on the open market and it would help everybody around the whole planet. But I'm not seeing the announcement. I'm not seeing any signs of life on that one at all. But Lindsey Williams was made a member of the board because he had saved them so much money up there. They didn't have to get psychiatric services. And believe me, being out there in the bush, that's a tough one. I've been out there. I've done that. It takes a long time to recover. It takes you about 3 times longer to recover than what you spent there. But because he was such a good minister and helped the men so much, he saved them a ton of money on psychiatry fees. Actually, he kept the guys working properly. Psychiatrists disabled. That's all they do. They don't help very much. You get one once in a while who's pretty good, but the vast majority are crap. Maybe 1% are good. It's that bad. So, My lady friend in the distance, an older psychologist than myself and twice as intelligent as I am, she hung out with some of the greats growing up. And I mean, she's had some wild jobs. She used to be able to get on board a corporate jet and fly to work. Seriously. I mean, she was in a high-paying job. I never got that far. And she's asked me, what do I think about Charlie Kirk? And I told her, he's not on it. He's not dead. They didn't kill him. And I sent her one video that I had access that she could access. It wasn't on Foch's book because she won't take part on Foch's book, and most of the stuff is there. And so basically, they used holographic technologies, and they had a camera up there, and the tent was the perfect design for this thing. And they apparently had been planning this for quite a while to motivate the country to do something. I don't know what they're trying to motivate us to do. They always have a multi-pronged experiment going on every time they interfere with human life. I'm talking about other psychologists, jackasses like me. I don't think I'm really that bad, but my family thought I was pretty bad. Still think I'm bad. They don't seem to understand very much. They don't have very good intelligence. They don't have good understanding. So I've had other people ask me what I think, and these are smart people. I told them straight out, and they're going with what I said. Charlie Kirk made a deal with the devil, and the deal with the devil is simple. You go along with the plan here, and you fake your death, and we pay you. And my thinking was, well, what's the payoff for Kirk? Oh, he gets a place in the underground cities. So he's protected when all this crap happens on top, and his family gets to go to there too. But then I realized that they just are going to reinvent him if there's much more time on this play, this Earth Age. And my friend asked me if there was any more proof. She wanted it, so I looked up a couple of videos on YouTube. I know these videos will be coming down now, so if you are a viewer of mine, please download these videos. There's 2 videos showing how MLK became Don King. Yeah. So, MLK went along with the program too. They never assassinated him. They never killed him. He got reinvented as Don King. Much higher pay level, much higher pay grade than walking around as whatever kind of pastor that he pretended to be. He was a psyop. He had Jewish handlers. They wrote his oratory for him. And he got to indulge in his favorite pastime the day before they whacked him, which was he loved to beat up his white prostitutes. So he got to eat what he wanted to, and he enjoyed his last day on earth as Martin Luther King, come back as Don King. Folks, they fake these things to get us pissed off and to get us riled up so that we might say, they need it back. We need to do this back to them. I mean, they killed Martin Luther King. We need to kill them back. No. We need to hold them accountable. We need to talk about this stuff. We need to reveal this to everyone. So, man, it's cold and I don't like it. I put on a long sleeve sweatshirt, what was left of it after the little one got a hold of the tail end of it and chewed it. Man, she's got some sharp teeth, and she was pissed off because I wasn't getting her out enough. And I'm going to get her out today and run her ass off real good because I didn't do it yesterday. And I don't want her going stir crazy because she'll go jump up and go after my clothes somewhere. She nailed the last good short sleeve shirt I had from my father. She nailed that the other day, and it was on the back of the couch. And I'm like, and I just showed it to her. She went into the kennel and she stayed there. She didn't even complain for, it was about 3 days. Not consistently 3 days in there, but she knew what she had done. But she doesn't have much control. So, you do what you can. Where are you? Oh, you're up front looking out the window. Oh, you like that. Yeah, we got the picture window. We got the privacy screen pulled. You can see the light over my shoulder here. Charlie Kirk wasn't killed. Stop trying to solve the murder. There was no murder. There was no yellow tape on the crime scene because there was no crime scene. And it is said, he who tells the stories rules. So who's the biggest storyteller here? I know somebody's going to accuse me. It's okay. Those people are they're more than a football field away. Lorraine, it's okay. Quiet. Good girl. Good watchdog. Good girl. Yes, good girl. No, quiet. It's okay. I know it sounds like she's purring, but believe me, that's just getting started. She's got so much power. It's just not funny. Come here. It's okay. Just sit. Yeah, I'll have to pet her a bit here. So what I'm getting at is these people deceive us left and right. By deception thou shalt wage war. That's the Mossad's motto. And basically it's Satan's motto from what I can tell, because they're busy deceiving. And of course they deceived Eve in the garden. Today Eve is deceiving the rest of us and voting for the liberals all the time, wondering why things aren't getting better, because they're voting for things to be made better. By God, why aren't they made better? It's because you don't know what the hell you're voting for, and you don't know what you're doing. And maybe you should stay home and learn your place and know your place. And maybe your husband should go vote for the whole family. Now, I know you're going to say, Lorraine, down. You're going to say I'm sexist and all that. But the fact is, my grandmother was college educated. That's right. 1917, she graduated college. And she married a man who had a 6th grade education. Now, 6th grade education back then is probably better than a college education today, but definitely better than the high school education today. And he voted Democrat and she voted Republican. So they went in and they canceled each other's votes out. That's how it worked. I think my grandmother knew better. She knew about the bankers. She muttered it one time in the kitchen and left. And I asked my mother, what the heck is she talking about? She says, well, she's on to the bankers, and she was trying to wake people up to that, and they thought she was crazy. And she doesn't want you children to be regarded as crazy, so she doesn't want you to know about this. She doesn't want you to hear about this. But I was about maybe 14 at the most, 11, 14, something like that, when I got that little bit of a lesson. And my grandmother was highly educated, and she knew the accuracy of what's happened to our society and how we had been taken over. She didn't understand the big picture of it, but I'm here to get the big picture of it and to give it to you. So what they're doing is they're putting on a big show with the idea of offending us and dividing us, and they want to get you seduced into doing the crimes that they're pretending to do to a large extent. But they don't always pretend. Quite often they flat out kill. But they want you to commit murder. Thereby, that's it. You're in the lake of fire. They're going to take as many of you with them as they can. They're going to take as many as they can with them. And so I'm telling you, you need to rise up above it. You need to realize that this thing, Charlie Kirk, he's the hero that you needed. You obviously needed a hero to guide you. So they gave you Charlie Kirk. Interesting, isn't it? Captain Kirk? Charlie Kirk, the captain of the spaceship. Wow. Wonder what they'll call him next time they recreate him. Yeah. They'll show him back up, and they'll put him out there as a different person. Like Alex Jones. I think he was that comedian before he became Alex Jones. And other people are pointing out other people that are showing up again. The people that were on was it the Challenger that blew up and 5 astronauts died? Those people didn't die. That was a show they put on for you and me. Very entertaining. It got us totally immersed in it. We all believed it. And all those astronauts show up living different lives years down the road. Isn't it incredible how they can just do that? So you need to understand, we're being deceived at an incredible level. And the number one story maker's Hollywood. And the number two story maker is your nightly news. And you got another story maker, that's your federal government, who demands that you believe their narratives. And you got another story maker, and that's your pastor, who stands up there and lies to you because he's never even read the Bible for himself. He doesn't even know what's in the book. There are levels of deception. The psyops are just incredible. I got some friends that are very sensitive to it, and they can see the levels, but none of us really wants to see all that stuff because it's overwhelming. It is horrible. So what I suggest to you is you just command your little area around yourself. Don't be deceived, and hold your ground. Stand your ground. Stand your faith. Continue reading in your Bible so that you know what it really says, so that when the other guy lies to you and tries to dominate you and make you feel bad, make you feel guilty, so that you do all the hocus pocus things he commands you to do, you can sit back and say, that's not the way it is, man. That's not what's in there. And you need to understand the idea that Christianity came from Judaism isn't right. It's not true at all. And there shouldn't be any religion called Christianity anyway. We covered that before, but Yahshua called it. Yahshua himself, the Messiah, called it two different things in two different places in the New Testament. That's a double witness, which means we want you to learn this. Pay attention to it. And so what did he say? He called it the faith of our fathers. What are the Jews? Is it not a matriarchy? Do they not get their lineage through their mothers rather than through their fathers? And is not the Bible, and even the first 5 books of the Bible, which the Jews claim are theirs, isn't that even about a patriarchy and not about a matriarchy? Very important. Very important. And then I love the fact that on Forbidden Knowledge News TV on the internet, the guy says that all of that debt that's on the clock, that's not the money we owe them. That's the money they owe us. And they want to do a great reset so they can get rid of the debt they owe us. That's what they're trying to pull on us right now. They want to continue the slavery. They're enjoying the ride. They're the kings of the earth. They're at the top. They get all the goodies. Satan is their master. They do Satan's bidding, and Satan pays them off really good, man. Really good. And unfortunately, too many of us are willing to take that payola. Too many of us get corrupted by that. Or if that doesn't work, like Trelochan Singh used to tell me, he says, I won't pick up 1 dime. I don't care about it, you know. But the flesh, that's where his weakness is. That's where you get your honeypot traps. And in case you're wondering, it was, what was that jackass's name, that Democrat that got elected because he promised we wouldn't go to war. And he took us to war. I can see his picture so well. Oh, by the way, the name of the woman that he wrote the love letters to was a Mrs. Peck. Mrs. Peck blackmailed him. And she got her Federal Reserve System put in. That's right. They do it. They've been doing it for a long time. You want to read about one? Read about, Herod. And his wife's daughter did a really lascivious dance for him. Really hot dance. And he was so pleased with her. God knows what happened in that room. That he said, I'll give you whatever you want. You can name whatever you want. Up to half of my kingdom he was going to give to this little girl who goes to her mother. And what does the mother tell her? Tell him to want the head of John the Baptist on a silver platter. And believe me, Herod was pretty shook up. when this is what was commanded. But sure as heck, next thing you know, John the Baptist gets beheaded, and his head is on a silver platter being given to this little tart, this little thought, this little girl who danced the most sexy thing she could do. She's probably every bit of 10 or 12, 11, 12 years old or something. Who knows? Herodias, whatever, sort of similar name to her mother. And of course, what was the woman upset about was the fact that this was his brother's wife, and by law he couldn't have her. It was a sin and against the law for him to have this woman for his wife. That's why the mother went after John the Baptist's head. Remember, Herod the Great was an Idumean. It says that in the Bible. You better go read it, because everything I say here is questionable. Another word for Idumean is Edomite. Edomite is the Hebrew version, and Idumean is the Greek version. For the people that came out of Mount Seir, not Mount Sinai, Mount Seir, also known as Mount Edom. Edom, the name given to Esau after he sold his inheritance for a bowl of red porridge. Of course, he'd already taken some wives he was not allowed to take, two Hittite women to wife. Man, did that screw things up. And we're still dealing with that today, by the way. So no, I don't think Charlie's dead. I think Charlie has just entered their witness protection program, so to speak, and that they're going to reinvent him and protect him in another position, whereby he'll have a lot more money, a lot more freedom, kind of like what happened to MLK when he became Don King, making all that money. And you got to realize that almost everybody that's making it is a member of that club, worshiping the devils. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. Even Yeshua was tempted by the devil himself 3 times. I believe that's what I read in the Bible. He didn't go for it. So, get one of my Bibles, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, get your name put on the list with everybody else, because if you're going to take a stand, you might as well take one, and go over to their channel, Awakening Israel 6197, I think some weird numbers, and you will see the old channel there. You used to be able to find it. It was Awakening Israel. And then when they took it down and they banned me, they decided to, I appealed it a year later, they decided to put it all back up, and they changed the name of it. So I get emails on that account that's associated with that all the time. It tells me so-and-so is just subscribing. Well, I don't see any subscribers on this channel. That's because they're not on this channel. There's more subscribers on that channel than there are on this channel. I'd like to see you populate that channel as well. I'm going to figure out a way to get into it again. And I'm going to start reading the Bible and going over scriptures in there much, much better than what I've done. I haven't been doing that in a long time. I've been too busy messing around with my new house here, I've been trying to get this thing safe and comfortable and get it running right and work out all the bugs. And man, lots of bugs in this. It's going to keep me busy for the rest of my life, probably. But I don't know what I'm doing. I hand my life over to Yahweh all the time. I think I get some great ideas, and I have to ask now, is this John Kent coming up with this egoistic stuff? And he's got ulterior motives that are not so clean, not so kosher? Or is this from the Holy Spirit? So I constantly exercise myself on that, trying to get the Holy Spirit connection stronger. Because the Holy Spirit will tell me what I really ought to do, what's really in my best interest, and what Yahweh wants me to do. And you see, Yeshua, his only begotten Son, begotten's important, gave us the example. He set the example. He didn't do anything outside of his Father's will. Everything he did was in his Father's will. His Father is our Father, and our Father wants a personal relationship with us. That's why we build the Holy Spirit with the real Savior, Yahweh. We have a man-made religion running around. We call it Christianity. And we worship the Jews, and we say we're subservient to them, and we are a derivative of them, and we are not. This religion that they have going on now, this Zionist kind of Judaism, that might be 300 years old at the most, 400 at the most. I think that they invented that stuff in the 1800s, pretty much. Maybe the 1700s. But pray for me that I might have some peace, and I might be able to sit down and just read my Bible again. I'd really like that. I need to work. I realize that I'm not going to make a living off this channel, but I will be trying to get a helpmate here and trying to write little short publications and selling those, and also doing consultations. We've got a line of t-shirts lined up. We've got a few products, but the problem is that some people, we don't always get along, let's put it that way. But we're trying. It's a lot of work. Oh, it's so easily get frustrated. It really is. I'm going to set up I've accomplished a lot the last week or two. I'm going to set up some new lists of things I need to get accomplished, and things are going to be happening very quickly. I did not post a video yesterday. I also didn't take my sleep aids tonight. I took them 2 nights before, but I didn't take them tonight. And I got some sleep, and I hope that dream that I had doesn't come true, because if it comes true, you and I as white people are in trouble. Because in my dream, nobody bothered to lock their doors, and that the committees were walking the streets all the time, arresting and busting us. And I didn't run into another white person. All I ran into were black and brown people. And the ones I ran into, for the most part, were really happy to see me, because there weren't many white guys left. And so I was just like living on the cheap and in the shadows. And they were actually able to come out forward, but and they knew that, yeah, that's what my visions, that's what my dream was. I used to have a 6-week lead time on that. I hope that doesn't hold true today, because if it holds true today, that means they're going to crash us in just a few days. They're going to crash us this month. And they're really going to take us out in October. But I don't want to fearmonger. They run enough fear on us. And the way I see it is, yeah, I'm not happy in my position right now. I have to wear this cap. My mother gave this to me. I have to wear this cap in order to keep my head warm. And got my dad's old flannel shirt on. And it fits pretty good. It's got a wear hole in the sleeve. I wish it didn't have that. They don't make shirts like this anymore. And I still got the towels left that my aunt bought me when I got my first house. She bought me American-made towels. You can't get those anymore. And they are made much better than the stuff that's being imported. We had the best manufacturing, the best products, until our political class decided to enrich themselves by robbing us. That's exactly what's happened. Don't kid yourself. All of those people in Washington, D.C. need to be rounded up, need to be debriefed, need to be looked into, and almost all of them need to be tried for their treason. Folks, a lot of you are still turning to the medical profession, and you can't break yourself of it because you're so used to it. But there's a lot of things that you can find and take care of on your own, and you won't have to shorten your life when you use that other technology. The herbs. North America has got more electricity, more lightning strikes, more storms than any other continent. And as a result, the earth here is different. And the herbs that we have in North America are the most potent and powerful ones on the whole planet. But we're not allowed to harvest and sell those things and deal in those things because that interferes with their stranglehold they have on us. The most knowledgeable and best herbalist in the country is younger than I am. And they broke him and busted him and forced him to sign an illegal deal upon threat of putting his wife and his mother in prison. He had to do 5 years in the penitentiary. He had to agree to that, or they were going to go after his wife and his mother. Why did they take him down? What were the charges, I was asked. Look, I don't know, because they wouldn't even tell him. My take on it was he didn't do anything wrong. They wanted him out of the way so they could run these biological weapons on us. All these other scams, all these other operations, psycho operations on us. They wanted him out of the way so nobody would be able to turn to him for help. Because he was knocking the hell out of brain cancers, man. 6 weeks and they were gone. No, he did not treat cancer. He treated the immune system, which of course those jackasses have forced you to take the RNA code that destroys your immune system. RNA encodes DNA, so you've taken their shots for the COVID in particular. They've destroyed you. And also they're spraying the rest of us, and it's in the food, even in the vegetables, even all that. So they are destroying us as fast as they can. I'm going to say, that doesn't make sense, Dr. Kit. Nobody in their right mind would do that. Look, you need to get in your right mind. You need to read the Bible and develop your mind. I have 5 formal degrees and a lot more informal education than that, okay? I mean, I got 12 years full-time at the university on campuses. More than that. I'm almost ashamed of it. And I'm going to tell you right now, you are responsible for your own education. But I didn't feel like I was educated till I sat on my ass and read the Bible after I had 2 strokes hobble me. I sat down and I read the Bible and I got a recovery. I ain't as strong as I used to be. I don't think quite as sharply. I don't have the powerful mind I once had. Like they say, you never know what you have until you lose it. Well, I lost it pretty badly. But I've been spared enough, and I have read the Bible several times, and it has helped heal my mind up tremendously. If you want to increase your intelligence, then increase your vocabulary. And this King James Version, the proper name King James Version, will help you do that because it's got a wider vocabulary than almost anything else. The only people with wider vocabularies are, well, you're looking at one of them. I'm not real good at it, though, like I used to be. And a fellow who wrote the Shakespearean plays. So may Yahweh bless. We've gone too long. I'm making up for yesterday. Do pray for yourselves. Do cultivate the Holy Spirit. Spend some time in the Scriptures. Read the book of John. I've read it 5 times before I read any other parts of the Bible. And read the book of Genesis. It's a tough book to understand. But read the book of John because it's pretty easy to understand. And I want you to understand in the beginning was the Word. Or in the beginning was the Logos, the law. And law was. And if you read it the way I read it 50 years ago, yeah, just about 50 years ago I read it. Let me think. I'll have to think of that on my own. I'm not at your time, but basically I did not consider myself educated until I had read the Bible at least twice, 3rd time. Then I was starting to really get it. So may Yahweh bless. Do not deprive yourself of reading the Word. It's the blessing, it's the weapon, it's the tool, it's the armament. I know they tell you, read this passage and says this and this and that. I'm going to tell you right now, just read the Bible through. Just read it through. Push yourself on reading it through. Gets a little boring or tedious. Push on. Just skim it. It'll have more meaning later on. Don't worry about it. And just get the general gist and go right through it. And don't read just the New Testament, because 85% of the Bible is in the Old Testament. And you got to have that foundation to understand the other 15%. May Yahweh bless.